getting tons of nice messages and
All
stuff.
right, we're now on.
All right. Here we go. All right, guys, what's up? Bobby Five with Sheets right here, and we're talking over some basketball. So Sheets, you said you have no idea. What are you thinking? Is there anything in there?
No, I mean, because I need. Don't we need to know who's starting? Don't we need to know who's playing? I mean,
We don't.
we need to. Okay, so this is what I feel. I feel as though, and this could be like the real moto way to play, the real match or the obvious way to play, is to just play like everybody late, and because that at least you can just know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like you're not you can wait on all that value that might come up later, if you're not sure about it now. That's one way to play. The other thing I can promise you is that the winning lineup. I was going to say this, but maybe I'm wrong. Is going to have like what 15 hours left on the table? I don't know. You want to go game by game for a second and let me know what you think? Because I'd love to figure it out because I'm playing very, very little today.
Yes, I absolutely do. Yeah, let's do it.
So Denver, we don't need to share much screen. We can just talk.
Yeah, we can just talk. Yeah.
So Denver, Toronto. My initial look, like this is like as of now, was that I was going to ask you who you liked on Denver because I didn't like anybody except maybe Ball. And then on Toronto,
we just got news that Michael Porter's out. So let's come back to this game because, well, actually, it's going to be really hard to do. Let's just talk about Toronto.
Toronto, I like all right. So you tell me, because I liked RHJ, Boucher, Terrence Davis, whoever Paul Watson is, whoever Matt Thomas is, and whoever DeJuan Hernandez is.
All right. So that's a lot of guys. You know what I mean? Like what? And so what are you possibly using that value for? Like seriously,
for nobody, just because they'll be the best raw points. So, I don't know.
So to play a guy like the guys with no, we could speculate on anybody today, and I'm not going to criticize for. I just can't understand why we wouldn't go to the guys. We play Boucher, simple. Okay. We play Terrence Davis, simple.
Okay.
We play. I personally am not very into Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, so I'm okay with it, but I don't like it very much personally.
So Boucher and Davis for openers,
okay. and then Powell would be the obvious one, but I am a little concerned about his minutes getting limited. But they tend to let him go a little bit, so I think I would probably go Powell would be the third one, and I think that's pretty much it for me. I don't mind if you want to take shots on any one of those other guys, thinking they'll be the highest scoring. Like there probably is some merit to that, but is there more value you're probably going to miss later on, or better plays that you're going to get more out of? I think so, because they still have 11 bodies, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 10 actually. But Gasol's one of them, so that's not going to be many minutes. I mean, yeah, they all make sense, but I'm just going to stick with the ones I trust the most, and those are those three. Hollis-Jefferson, I guess you could put him fourth, along with Matt Thomas, but I actually think I'd rather play Thomas than Hollis-Jefferson.
So Boucher Davis, who was the third?
Maybe I would play. I don't know. It's tougher there. Happy Friday, Gangsta. Yeah, last seeding games, our last day. Wait, what did you say? Who'd you say third? I said Powell.
Okay.
It's hard to get stealing games from Rondae Hollis-Jefferson when he plays. We just don't get him. I'm just not going to do that. I don't think. So I think it's the other guys for me. It's Davis, Boucher, Powell.
All right, so let's talk about Miami, Indiana.
Yeah.
So I guess Tyler Hero is the best play. Maybe the best play on the slate. Maybe the most popular play on the slate. We'll see.
I don't know about any of that.
What?
True. I think it's not true anymore, but I think it might have been at one point true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Silva.
Wait. Okay, so
I don't know.
I mean, these guys. I just don't understand that we can't treat it like these guys are going to score. Like, you know what I mean? Like the projections, things I think might be throwing you off a little bit because.
Yeah. What do we do? That's why I'm not playing. I have no idea what to do.
It is hard to know what to do, but I think that if you start getting into the really weird guys I guess the Chris Silva thing, they could give him minutes, but it's purely speculative.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's focus on guys from these games that are actual basketball players. So we got
Tyler Hero.
So Tyler Hero. So let's start with him. And going back to that previous game, so Terrence Davis, I've seen him score in actual games. I've seen Boucher score in actual games. I've seen Norman Powell score in actual games, and Tyler Hero. All right, so let's start with those guys.
Okay, so Hero, Nunn would be my preferred guys on, on Miami, and Olynyk is, I think, okay for taking a chance at some raw points. I don't think we're going to have Crowder in, so I think the numbers are going to be skewed by the time this game comes around. Duncan Robinson, the minutes are going to level out, though. I just don't see anybody playing a ton of minutes. So I think the guys we play are Hero and Nunn, but I don't feel very good about it particularly.
Okay.
I really don't. It's a questionable spot, but I do think they might let Hero go, so it would be Hero then Nunn for me.
All right. So what do you like in Indiana then?
Okay, so this is the tough one, or the tough one. I mean, they're all tough ones. What am I talking about? So we don't know who's going to play. I'm going to guess that maybe Brogdon plays for a little bit. So you can get a little bit of Brogdon if you want. Just he probably actually is a reasonable play. If we're going to leave money on the table, let's play a guy who's going to play 25 minutes and probably get us 25 or 30 fantasy points, maybe. You know what I mean? At least we know he's going to play some minutes. So you got to almost treat the price like it's not a thing. So Aaron Holiday and TJ McConnell, I think, are both good plays. Probably more so McConnell than Holiday because of Holiday. I mean, these guys are part of the rotation, Holiday and Brogdon. So I don't know why they're going to run him out there in this game.
So what you're saying about like this, it's not Elise Johnson, TJ Leaf season?
It might be, though. No, it really might be, but do we need to do that? Or, see, I would rather play McDermott, who can actually shoot himself into a big performance, and I'd really rather play Edmund Sumner. That's okay. I mean, like, you definitely have a lower floor with Sumner. I think you have the highest ceiling. He might actually have the highest ceiling of any player on his team, which is really weird to say because he's 3,700, but I think Sumner would be the guy I'd be looking towards the most there. Sumner, followed by McConnell, followed by Holiday, followed by Brogdon, then Gogo Batadze. I don't know, man. I don't know how much this kid's going to play. I've never seen him play more than like 18 minutes. So I think I'm probably not going to end up going there. But TJ Leaf, actually, I might have a little more interest in. I could see TJ Leaf. You know what? That's just personal bias. Let me just shed that aside. It's because I know TJ Leaf. Like, I actually have met him, and I actually played a game with. It was either his brother or his cousin. But I don't know. I think I'm not that into it. I think we're gonna have to wait and see who's in the lineup. And for now, though, the guys you'd want to get would be McConnell, McDermott, and Sumner.
Ryan Stubbs, I'm into your idea. I don't think anybody's a good chalk today. I don't know. It's just so wild. It's just.
Well, I mean, remember what happened yesterday? Like, even the projections were so crazy because everybody kept making pivots. But the weird part is, like, 4% CJ McCollum in a game where he's going to play 40 minutes if it's close, even if it's not going to play 35. It's crazy to me. I don't know. Can we still? I don't understand what that question means, Oscar. Sorry, man. If you can rephrase it.
Jamal Murray and Malcolm Brogdon.
He just says, "Can we still Murray and Brogdon play later?"
Still include them.
Oh, include or exclude?
But
but I guess it's the same answer anyway. So yeah, they're in the player pool. Don't feel great about it. What's weird is that you might get a sure like 25 minutes out of Murray because I do think that he hasn't had that much time. So you can have it, but the question is going to be at the end. Do you want it? Does he even have the upside Monte Morris does on his own team? I don't think he probably doesn't have as much upside as Monte Morris, which is crazy to say. Unless they do something really weird, which is totally possible. So here's one that I think is going to be interesting, Sheets, this next game. So we're probably going to get a bunch of nonsense.
So who's playing more than 20 minutes and who do I play?
It's going to be a bunch of nonsense. The guy you want to prioritize, just get him in your lineups now. You can always adjust later if everybody plays. And even if they do, I'm still going to play a ton of them. Darius Baisley, my vote for he's definitely the bubble rookie of the year, even as well. Like, Ja didn't have his best bubble, This kid has been unbelievable. And he's going to be a baller. I'm in love with his game. I think he's really good. And he's going to get minutes. I really believe that. He's the guy I think is the priority play here. I don't think you're going to see a ton of ownership on – like, you can keep Shea in your pool at 25 minutes. it's his old team. Maybe he gets an extra 2 minutes against his old buddies. I don't know. You got to really reach tonight because you don't have anybody with like a 30-minute projection anywhere. You could speculate on Diallo and these other guys, but I think the answer is Darius Baisley with a little bit of Shea and maybe a little bit of Noel because they could play Noel an easy 20 minutes here. Hey, thanks to X Factor. We appreciate you for acknowledging that. I appreciate that. Guys, remember to give us the like and subscribe and all that stuff while you're on here if you don't mind. Sheets, keep going with is there anything that you noticed from a projection standpoint that stood out on these sides?
No, again, you're not going to like what projections pop out in these restricted.
So I think you have to play some Paul George and Kawhi Leonard today. Well,
that's what my idea was playing all this as much value as I possibly could from these first two games, just in case they say something stupid like Harden and Kawhi, Chris Paul will play full minutes or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I have Harden locked in right now anyway. I we'll see about it.
Do you?
But I'm really only thinking it's going to be 25 minutes, even possibly. But the truth is, I've never seen Harden only play 25 minutes in the game in any situation. So, and then Fantoni, who loves to leave his players in for 75 million minutes. So it's kind of a weird. And also, they still have things to figure out. You know what I mean? And the Clippers have that a little bit too. This is my argument for these Clippers. They haven't got their rotations. They haven't played their regular things with Lou Will. So I actually think Lou Will is the super tournament play from this side. The problem is you don't need the value. You know what I mean? I would like Lou Will if he was 8K or something because you get him really unowned. And the truth is he's probably got the highest minute ceiling in terms of logic of what they would give because they're trying to work him back into the rotation. You can see it with his minutes. They're jumping up every game. They're trying to run more of his pick and roll with the bench unit. And he's getting shots off in these minutes. 20, he went 20, he's in the 20s early on. Now he's up to 25. I think you're going to see him play 25 to 28 minutes potentially tonight, probably 25. But he's a guy in 25 minutes that could easily put 35 fantasy points up, and you're looking for raw points tonight. So he's a guy you want to consider. Obviously, that's why Paul George and Kawhi are strong plays because even in limited minutes, if they do play at all, which I think that is possible. You could just run them out there, get a few rotations down, whatever. It's also possible they entirely sit and you're totally stuck at the end of the day. But in that case, you just are going to leave $1 million on the table, which you're going to do anyway. So I think that is what you do. You wait. You do a little bit of what you're saying. You wait for some of these guys. That's where you sit in your money. By the way, you want to get exposure to Reggie Jackson. A guy like Reggie Jackson could be the highest scoring fantasy player on the slate tonight. It's possible. Harden at the utility spot, just in case. You got it, Oscar. That's exactly right. Harden out in 25 minutes could still be the highest scoring player on the slate. That's why we have to consider him, But if he doesn't play at all, that's a whole different story. And you might not be able to wait because – so if you hear – it's going to take some stones. Let's say you've got the Nets sheets and you've got 11-5 left or exactly whatever Harden is, and the Clippers game is starting. They're announcing that Kawhi's starting and it plans to play 28 minutes. But you don't know what Harden is yet. There's not even a question mark. But you just don't know what he is yet. What do you do?
What I think you do is rely on your knowledge of D'Antoni and just know that he's just going to play.
So Thomas, I think that's. But the truth is, he doesn't. This is a little bit of a unique situation where he might just completely sit. I don't just with them. He does. And D'Antoni even lets him play 30 minutes. I mean, we saw last night that they were trying to eliminate a team from the playoffs for some reason. But that was pretty impressive that they played their guys, They played Harris and LeVert. Okay, so let's see. Michael Porter Jr. is out. We also have we're going to go back to that game. The Raptors. We have the Raptors starting lineup now with Matt Thomas in it. Oh my God, I'm gonna live in a world where I'm gonna be playing Matt Thomas. Oh my God. What do we think about Zubac? Zubac is not so much for me, but I kind of think he's also okay because he's going to get a decent amount of minutes. The question is would you rather play Zubac or would you rather play Lou Will? I'd rather play Lou Will personally. Same basic price. All right, Sheets, what do you think we go back to that? Oh, no, we have to finish the last game real quick.
Oh, good grief. Philly, Houston. I like Harden. I like Embiid. They're not playing. I keep forgetting. So, yeah, I guess Harden. But I have this weird feeling that the $4 tournament is supposed to just not play him. I don't know. I really don't even know why I'm saying that. I mean, sir, like you said, in 30 minutes, he might be the highest. 30 minutes. In 20 minutes, he might be the highest scoring player on the slate.
He's going to be popular, so fading him might. I mean, you can make the argument for fading him.
Owned, you know what I mean? Like, it depends.
Say that one more time.
Again, don't ask me. I really, honestly, I'm only playing for fun today. I have literally no opinion on any of this stuff. I mean, so it's a scrimmage. Everybody's playing a scrimmage, and you're literally at the mercy of whatever the coach decides. And I think there's no precedent for these minutes at all. So I'm really gonna go with a couple of key guys and maybe shuffle and just kind of have some fun. Maybe I'll set a thing saying, maximum. You know what might be contrarian is to like max out your salary. that actually might end up being contrarian. You play Harden, Kawhi, and Paul George. Play all three of them, and then make sure you max out your salary somehow.
This guy's asking about starting Gasol over Boucher. I think that would be the worst thing you could possibly do. Playing Gasol would probably be look, if it works once out of 100 times, that would be way more often than I would expect it to work out here. So don't play.
That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is
does Gasol starting over? Oh, lower the Boucher. Oh my God, that's my fault. I'm sorry about that. I totally misunderstood. I hope it does. I hope it does a little bit. I think it will a little bit. I think if Boucher was announced starting, it would be like 90%. Now it might be like 60% or 50-something%. And on FanDuel, it definitely will lower the ownership because you can play other centers. You can make arguments for other centers at least. I'll give it that. I have to get out of here in a few minutes. So let's get through the last game real quick, and I'll stop interrupting.
All right. So I guess the idea is to presume Harden plays 20 minutes and then ask the question which Houston guys are going to be psyched about that. You know what I mean? Like who's gonna get a zillion shots off? Is this going to be the Chris Clemens game?
So that would be a logical one. I also think Eric Gordon's going to get his normal minute. Like he's going to get a 24-minute rotation, 25-minute rotation. Take that for what you will, but I think that might be a time for him to get some shots up in there. So I kind of like Eric Gordon as a play. I don't see that he's coming off an injury, but they're trying to work him back in. So that's why I'm trying to focus on him or Lou Williams, guys who missed the beginning part of the bubble, who they're trying to work into their rotations, which is also makes it more likely that Harden would play tonight to keep tightening up those rotations. Because they haven't had this long with Covington and this stuff, you know what I mean? Even without Westbrook too, and they're not going to have Westbrook in the first round. It is incredibly dangerous if somebody was to get injured, they're going to, you'll never hear the end of it. I don't have Clemens on here. I have Frazier as my guy. Why is Clemens not on in the player pool?
I don't know. Maybe he's not playing.
Maybe. I'm going to see what this last thing did real quick for these adjusted ownerships in that game. But I am currently planning to play Harden and some Covington and some Gordon. And then I can switch to the guys when they're announced out. And on Philly's side, I think there is upside for Tobias Harris minutes. Maybe not minutes, but maybe like he's the unowned guy. Okay, so here's the argument I can make.
First of all, is Embiid playing, you think?
Yeah, the plan is for him to. But even whether he does or doesn't, if he plays 15 minutes again or whatever he does, we'll see. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to play Embiid. Although, unless I hear some coach speak or something about how he's like, we need to warm him up or something, get him back in something. I don't know. Tobias, though, did score 41 fantasy points in 24 minutes the other day. So even if he gets that same rotation in a similar type of situation, you could argue that maybe he outscores Paul George enough to where you could make a huge pivot on if your lineup's chalky, you could always switch from Paul George to Tobias Harris and hope for the you get 5% ownership versus with Paul George likely like 35 or 40% ownership. And Furkan Korkmaz would be the other Philly guy along with Alec Burks. I just don't know how much they're going to play Burks. They sat him the last game, so it's kind of hard to prioritize a guy like that. Real quick, let's go to the Denver-Toronto because that's the first one and it's coming up pretty soon. You're just going to have to play it. You treat these slates as if they're like game by game, and then you adjust after each thing. It's a weird situation, but it's what we do. All right, so now we've got I really like Norman Powell. I really like. I think we can play Jokic here too. If we're talking about raw points, why is he projected for 20 minutes? Like, he hasn't played less than 25 minutes, even in these games where they took him out, or 24 minutes against Portland, I guess. wouldn't he just play like 24? So Jokic, but the problem is then you lose the potential of the later guys. All right. Anyway, it's a tricky one.
It's all a big joke, is what it is.
I mean, but there is no Michael Porter Jr., which is just real quickly is going to make both Jokic and Murray for the limited minutes that they're in somewhat valuable, right?
That's true.
And Jeremy Grant, where is we stand on him today? Because he's been making me a fortune. I played him the other day at like 1% because he was a question mark, and he put up like 40 fantasy points. Yeah, I like Jeremy Grant for raw points, 5.5K. But I also like the idea of maybe going to Bull. I don't know. It's a little tough. Before we get out of here, I have to go pretty soon because I need to check on a few things before the slate starts. I've got a lot of money out there, which sounds crazy, but we've been somehow nailing these slates. All right, so I'm going to say Harden, Boucher, Baisley, Sumner, Hero, Lou Williams, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Rocco, TJ McConnell, and McDermott, Reggie Jackson. These are the guys who I'm looking at mostly. And we're going to have to just adjust as it goes game by game. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Do not DM me, but please, if you want to make a public question on Twitter, always happy to try and answer if I have time. And I just can't answer the DM. Everybody keeps doing it. I'm never going to do it because it's just.
All right, well, we'll go for some talent. So I guess my favorite will be the guy you said would be Darius Baisley, I suppose. Maybe show off a little bit more. Maybe try to earn just more minutes for the playoffs. Maybe I've had some good ceilings out of Terrence Davis from time to time. Maybe try him.
I love Terrence Davis.
Yeah. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to now when I say zero, it doesn't mean anything because I'm playing 6 lineups. Okay, I'll play zero Boucher. That's what I'll do. Okay.
So
I've actually seen him bust his chalk like on several occasions. So I'll play zero Boucher. That will be my like you play the morning grind game. Who high owned guy is going to bust? Okay, I'm going to say Boucher bust. That'll be my bust.
That's your favorite guy too, and I hate that he is volatile, but I don't think he's as volatile in this situation. But he's still got some volatility in him. Yeah, I'm looking through my original lineups. I kind of like him, man. I don't know how much I'm gonna mess with these things, but I'm gonna do a little more digging. We can't get advanced starting line. Ryan, it sucks. It's absolutely a nightmare. It's so annoying. Cost me money yesterday. Even though I didn't love DeRozan, I did have him in a couple lineups because I just needed to fit somebody. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We've been on fire with late swaps, so we'll keep going with it. I'm going to get out of here. Sheets, anything else before I get out of here, or are you going to stay on?
Nah, we're good. I'm getting out of here, too.
All right. Hey, man, good job. Thanks, Sheets, for joining me and setting all this stuff up. I'll have mine ready Monday. Thanks for the reference on the lady to set up my Twitch. So we can we'll have that live stream coming from me as well. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us this week. It's been awesome. Good luck in NBA, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, Bobby. Good luck.
Thanks, Sheets. Good luck, buddy.
Later.